Hey, everybody, welcome back to Let's Get Real with Danny, the podcast where we're just talking about how we can really start to focus on the growth aspect of our lives versus just trying to, you know, I think we get so stuck in how can I just be my best self or how can I just, be better. And sometimes a part of the growth is just like kind of being where you're at. So, today's episode is just me talking, and we're going to talk about what my team looks like and why I choose to ask people to help me and how I've gotten to that point where I believe that I need to ask for help in some instances because sometimes it's not so easy to do that. And maybe this is something that you're currently working on of like needing to ask for help or not knowing how to ask for help or what that even looks like, who to ask to help you. So really we're going to dive into all of that. So really might as well just get into it, right? Is just, you know, when I think one thing that really has stuck for me in terms of needing to get help is like really tapping into what I'm trying to achieve, right? And trying to go for the goal and like seeing the goal and it's like, okay, well, what am I actually trying to strive for instead of just being like, life isn't going the way I want it to, like, woe is me, right? Like, I think we can get really stuck in, where we're at versus where we're going. And for me, lately it's been a lot of like business focus of like, where's my business going? And then that actually overshadowed like my personal growth. And so trying to balance everything out. And especially if you're an entrepreneur or you're really focused on your career or, you're just trying to get ahead or whatever it looks like, it's it's sometimes hard when you're so tunnel visioned on one thing to take a step back and be like, okay, why am I doing all of this? And, why do I want to grow my business? Oh, so I can help more people. Okay, why do I want to help more people? Because that's really fulfilling for me. But, you know, it's it isn't always just about other it is about other people, but it's not just about like how you're perceived. It's about like how you can actually truly feel in the things that you're doing day to day. So for me, I need help with so many things. There's a list. When someone says like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" I say so many things, which is, I mean, it's a joke, but you know, when you kind of tap into the depth of it all, it's like, man, like, how do you even start to sort it all out, right? So, my business has been a main focus for me in the past, like, I would say the last 6 months. I've been kind of like really focusing on like, what do I want my business to be? What do I want it to look like? How do I want to help people? Um, but even alongside that journey, like the parallel journey is my personal health and my personal growth and realizing that there's some things that I'm dealing with, which is like I've been dealing with some neck issues for quite some time, and it all kind of erupted surprisingly, but maybe also not surprisingly at the same time as me trying to advance my business and take things like to the next level. And it's really funny how that all happens, and we'll dig into that a little bit more in terms of like the people that are helping me through that. But, really needing to take a step back and look at my physical health and how it all connects, and the people that have helped me through that and continue to help me through all of the things that I'm working on right now. So, um, it's one of those things. First things first, like I noticed that I needed help with my business, so I hired a business coach. That is like one of the things that has changed a lot for me in the last 6 months is having someone who knows what they're doing to guide me to do the things that I want to achieve, or I see what they're doing, or how they've helped other people do the things, and it's really inspiring for me to be able to do those things as well, and to have the goal be okay, like this is the thing that I want to achieve and it can happen because someone's already done it and I can kind of follow the game plan that they have set out because I'm a very good team player. I can, You tell me to jump, I say how high, and I will execute. Like that's kind of something that I admire about myself, which I'm coming to that realization in this moment as I'm talking. But that is something that I'm very good at. What I struggle to do is know how to, if someone's not asking me to jump how high, and then me saying how high, it's like if no one's asking me to do the thing, it's like then I'm just like, now what? How do I take those steps for myself, and how do I have like leadership for myself, right? Um, so my business coach was like a first step, or one of the steps. I wouldn't say it's the first step, but one of the steps. And, that has helped me in my business side of things, which there's still struggles. There's even times where I'm like, okay, like, am I doing the right things there? Um, but at least I know I have someone guiding me that does know how to get me to the next step, right? So, um, the another important thing that I think is important for everyone to include in their life, which is a therapist, having someone to support them through the mental side of things, through the emotional side of things, tapping into why we are the way we are and better understanding ourselves. Like, I've learned so much more about myself in the past year than I have in like the 34, almost 34 years of being alive. And I've had a lot of therapists. So, this is also to say, you know, if that's something that you're exploring right now and you're feeling like, oh, it doesn't feel like the right fit, then it's not, right? Like, find the person that feels like is the fit. Find the person that feels like is speaking the same language as you, so that you can start to understand yourself. Because it's like there's people have different languages, even though when it comes to how we talk about things, how we approach things. So it's all about finding that person that can, like, we essentially need to find the connections that help us feel like we can thrive. And like, there's definitely something to be said about, people that challenge us are helpful too. But, there's still going to be like a connection piece where it's like that person's challenging me, but they're challenging me in a way that I understand and how I can comprehend it and absorb it, versus it being a wall getting put up. Because that's easy to do too. If there's like a disconnect between the energies of the people, then how do you work together when it's just the vibe's not there, right? Um, it sounds so like cliche, like make sure the vibe matches, but it's very true, and it's how I align the people in my life to the people that I look to help me. I want them to be like of the same energy, and because that helps me just grow a little bit more, and maybe even energy that isn't the same energy but supportive energy, if that makes sense. It's like the aligning energy, the energy that is like, it matches. Might not be like, it might like complementary colors, right? Like, they're not the same color, they're on like the opposite spectrum, but they still like come together in a way to make something else happen, right? So like, by far, I would say that, like, in terms of my team, I need to have someone who supports me with my business. I need to have someone who supports me with my mental health. And then I also have another portion of that, which is like connecting to, you know, my self that is existing now, and then the self that existed prior. And so, my friend who's also an intuitive therapist, she's helping me through some of that stuff too. So having that as a support is super important to me, and exploring different ways to have support, instead of just being like, there's just one modality. There's like so many modalities out there for everything. So it's like, what I'm trying to say is really, you need to figure out, and not even just figure out, you just need to look at where you want to go and start finding the people that'll help you get there. Because, like, even with my physical health, I have a chiropractor, and I've never gone to a chiropractor like weekly ever, I don't think, in my life. And I have been going weekly to this chiropractor, and his goal, he's very open about what his goal is for me and how we're going to work on this together. And, it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. Like, this isn't just like him and me as separate. It's like, okay, we're collaborating on something of my physical health and how I can be aligned physically. Um, and how I could start to tap into like, okay, and how is everything kind of playing together. So I have all these team members in my roster, is like the conversation that I had with Matt. If you didn't listen to it, definitely go check it out. We talked a lot about like, where you're at right now and how you can make progress, especially if it comes to like fitness goals. But essentially having a team, or as Matt called it, the Avengers, to help support you in accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, right? So um, making sure that you really, one, you can find out what exactly you're trying to achieve. Is it just like general happiness? Is it better health? Is it um, being more successful? Like, what is the thing that's actually driving you? And like, also like breaking that down a little bit and being like, okay, where does that start? Where's the biggest struggle piece, and where can I kind of take one step at a time? Like, you know, having having multiple people help you along the journey. It's like, if you went and signed up for everything all at once, it might be pretty overwhelming. So maybe don't just be like, okay, I need to go find a chiropractor and this and that and that and that and that all at once. Like, I mean, if you feel like you can handle that, that is totally okay. But we always want to come from a place of like, hey, what's one thing I can do right now that can help me feel a little bit more supported in where I want to go and how I want to feel. So um, I think I've changed a lot in the past few years of just like always just being scared of going to those places of, you know, what's next, and how can I grow, and how can I stop letting, others dictate how I see myself or how I see my life going, and realizing, okay, as long as I have, the right people in place for me to feel confident in those steps, and like, the friends, the people that you surround yourself with, your partner, that can really help support you. Or it could, alternatively hinder you from truly seeing your potential and seeing where you can make change. Um, and realizing that you're never, just because where you're at isn't comfortable or it's not where you want to be, it doesn't mean that's where you're going to be. And that can change. So I'm here to spread that little bit of hope for you today. And hopefully some of this hit for you, and some of this is like, you know, helpful, that, you can say, like, I can ask for help, because it's been hard for me to ask for help, because I grew up super independent. It was kind of like, go outside and play and do whatever you need to do. Like, there's, it's kind of like how you grow up and how independent you are as a kid kind of dictates how you act as an adult. It's something I'm learning, and you know, sometimes you don't need to just do everything by yourself, because it's very isolating, it's very lonely, and you start second guessing everything, and you sometimes miss some of the wins that you're having, or you miss the opportunities that you never thought were possible, because, you know, we don't want to lean or depend on anyone, but we definitely need support from people, and that it's important to have community. It's important to have other people in our lives that care about us and want to help us succeed. So it's all about finding the people that truly align with where you see yourself going. And if you like even second guess that, it's like, just tap into that. Like, why are you second guessing it? And is it for fear of it being uncomfortable and being into that next step of where you want to be, or is it fear of feeling judged? Because that can be very powerful too. So I will leave it at that for today. Just a little bit of a tap in for me in terms of reflecting on, you know, why I look to people for help and where I look for help. And maybe this can just be that encouragement for you to take that first step for you, because no matter what it looks like, if there's something that you're struggling with, there's someone that can help you. And if you don't know where to start, you can always send me a message on Instagram, and we can just talk about like, hey, like, what is that first step for you? No matter what it is, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like nutrition or anything, but it can just be like, I've had a lot of people in my world, and I have a lot of people that could potentially help you, or you know, or at least provide some insight or inspiration for you to take that first step for you. So I appreciate you so much for listening to this today. And if you're enjoying this, definitely please leave a review, rate this podcast. It just allows it to be seen by more people. And that would just mean the absolute world to me if you did that. And yeah, leave a comment if you're like, hey, like this is exactly what I need to hear. Or if you want to hear about more things that I touched on, or if you want me to dig deeper, then we'll definitely do that. But thanks again for being here, and we'll see you next time. Take care, my friends.